What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Empyrion, Galactic Survival. When we left off in the last episode, we actually took a bit of a detour that I wasn't really expecting to do, to be quite honest. And that was to take down the Epsilon fortress that has been a thorn in my side for a while now. Which we did, successfully. And to my surprise. Let's see. Okay, we got some good stuff going there. Now, I can confirm what a lot of people have already told me, which isn't really much of a confirmation when you think about it, that the drones are still attacking because I just actually a few minutes ago, before I started recording, had them attack up over the ridge like they always do. So taking out the Epsilon Fortress did not, in fact, prevent them from attacking, which is actually good in my case, because they're basically just bringing me free resources at this point. Which I'm okay with. You know... And you might notice over to my right, where we were before, the, whatchamacallit, the capital ship. I'm gonna get to that momentarily. I kinda just wanted to do some assessment of components and things. Because basically, for all of the thrusters for a capital ship, you need flux coils, which are not the power coils that we needed before. They were the flux coils that we had, which is good and bad. It means that they shouldn't be as hard to come by because we were finding them in different objects and things. But I actually don't have any more to make any more thruster blocks. I am probably going to break this medium one back down because it requires 4. And the large one is only 6, and the other stuff I have plenty of, I think. So, we should probably do an advanced RCS. And you might notice that we have all of the advanced constructor stuff in here. I don't have the constructor over here anymore because I was actually told, and it was a great idea, was basically if you take the components that you need to build the advanced constructor, so if you have a large constructor, it'll require 2 power coils, and when you set the multi-tool to upgrade, you can actually just use the 2 power coils to upgrade the constructor, and I didn't have to actually replace or empty out any of my inventory stuff, which is really good, because there's a ton of crap in here. Oh, these aren't the same thing. Okay. Alright, so now for what's going on over here. Well, you probably have already figured it out. I was informed via the comments, as usual, that actually the capital ships, and I guess small vessels as well, don't work like hover vessels and things like that, where if I turn on the center of mass... Well, actually, right now, it's perfectly aligned somehow. I don't know how I managed to do that. But if it weren't, it wouldn't matter. Because, basically, these ships, much like the small vessels, work more like the Space Engineer counterparts, where you can kind of put the thrusters wherever as long as you have one for every direction and things. But this is my attempt at an internal thruster room, for lack of better explanation. I mean, chamber, probably, is the more official term. I did this. The large thrusters are about 4 blocks long, as you can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I gave it a 4-block berth, where I'm kind of assuming as long as you give it the length of the block itself is enough for thruster damage. Now, I know some people have told me that thruster damage isn't a thing in Empyrion, but I have read, I don't know how dated they were, but I did read articles from the devs saying eventually they wanted to, because it wasn't as realistic, to not have it damage things. Now, I don't know how true that is, and if it is, I don't know really when they're talking about doing that. I don't know how old the articles were, etc., and so on. So, basically, I don't know how long I'm going to have this ship. Because as long as there's no, like, but map wipes and things like in Subnautica and stuff, I'm not super worried about resetting my world or anything if I don't have to, even when they update things. So, kind of trying to future-proof my design here a little bit, and if they end up adding damage, I wanted to make sure, and I don't even know if that's enough or not. It looks like enough. Usually I can't see it being double the size, or more than double the size of the... Hold on. I can't see it being more than the size of the thruster in terms of range for the thruster damage. That's what I was trying to get. So because they're 4 blocks long, I made a 4-block gap. Then I did this glass walkway right here and intend to put a glass ring around this to make it kind of a visible path. You can walk through the center to the next area, but you can look over and up and see the different thrusters. Now, the only ones that are throwing a monkey wrench into this a little bit is going to be the forward and backward facing thrusters. That's going to be a bit of a pickle, and I'm not really sure how to deal with that at the moment. I'm still working out some of the kinks. I don't have enough thrusters to really play around with this too much. So that's kind of where I'm at this point. I ran out of materials for the thruster room. Not that that's a really big important thing at the moment. And I also gave myself... I'm going to use some of these steel ones for now. Well, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just go with the hardened ones. Let's do that. I changed my mind. Oh, crap. Put it everywhere but where I wanted it. Actually, that's kind of good to know, though, that it'll still let me place under that. Oh, that's right. That's actually where this block is. That window block is actually under that one. Okay. I guess I could probably leave that there. Huh. There's nothing connecting this at the moment, actually. Ooh, that's not good. That's... Okay. Now I see what's going on. So I need to bring this out and, like, connect it up somehow, at least temporarily, so that then I can remove... Oh, okay, so I gotta do another entry area over here. So this is about the length that I'm thinking for... Woo! Building in the dark. Let's turn our lights on. This is about the length I'm thinking for the thruster chamber, so to speak. That was weird. It seemed like it was changing the target there. It was. Repair. Explore. Explore. Repair. Repair. Cool point. Major cool points if you understood that reference, by the way. And I found out you can actually change the doors as well. So basically, I need to learn to right-click every single block before I go to place something, because there's probably a cooler, better way to do it. Let's see if I time that, or if I space that right. They're 2 blocks in length, so that should give me 3 on each side. And then I can have... So the plan, again, I don't have enough thrusters to really show what I'm thinking, but I'll have 2 more of these over here facing the same direction, and 2 more of those. And then up top, I was thinking of having a similar shape where it, you know, kind of rounds out. It'll probably be a little bit more angled or rounded. I'm not really sure yet. I don't think I'm going to build a giant box, but it'll be enough to where along this axis... Oh, crap, it does place them. I was hoping it was like the Space Engineers where it wouldn't do that. Oh well. Because I need, like, example things. But along this axis, basically, would be downward thrusters. And I would probably have them going this way. And then along the bottom, we'll have upward. Well, actually, technically that one's upward and these are downward, but you get my meaning. And that would cover the 4 sideways, left, right, up, and down directions, horizontal directions and vertical. But as far as like the z-axis of going forward and backward is where I'm not sure where I'm gonna put them. And I'm probably gonna end up moving these because this is along the center, so I'll probably drop these down to like this block down here. And that way there's a bar in the middle, maybe for, I don't know, lights or something. So we'll have a row like this, possibly a row up here of the same direction, so 6 on one side. If it's necessary, I don't know how necessary any of that's going to be, but if, I could do it that way. And then, well, actually, I could make the room a little longer. Hold on. I could make the room a little longer this way, because I have enough, so there's 6 total this way, and I need it to be 8 like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, so 8. So if I added 2 more to this room, I could put these going this way, and then I could put the vertical ones, or not vertical, the forward-facing ones going this way, and that would give me 1, 2, or so 2. I could have 3 to 4. Okay, so I could have 3 for that direction, 3 for that direction. I could reverse it the other way for that one and do 3 and 3, which would still let me do 3 this way and 3 this way. That could work. Okay, so that's going to be my current plan at the moment, and I'll use this thruster to kind of give an example. Now this is not the right size. It'll be this size here if I go with the large ones. Nope. But I could have them facing this way and then run over top of these or along this. Damn it. I'm so floaty, I don't know why. But basically they'd be along this block line right here, up a block, so this angle, and they would go to about this one, and they'd stop here, so it would give me 3 facing this direction. This guy right here would drop down to this lane, or this block line, and then I'd have 3 total in this way. And then I could basically flip the design over here to where we have these facing this way, and then the reverse thrusters would face over here to the same length, about here. And they'd be at the back, so they had enough room. I like it so far. And then up top, we would give ourselves enough vertical room for the to allow for the thruster damage. And you'd have these up here on possibly both sides, and then these on the bottom facing the other way. And they'd run like this. So you'd have 3 and 3, because I think vertical is probably more important than lateral thrusts, because you know, when you enter gravity or something, the laterals aren't doing anything, but your verticals are fighting the gravity. So I feel like it's more important to have more of those anyway. So that would require... Sorry, I know I'm doing a lot of talking this episode, but it was because I really hadn't planned out much about my capital ship here. And it's all kind of pointless at this point. I'm trying to figure out where everything's going so I have the right dimensions for stuff. But overall, the thruster room is probably one of the last things that'll actually get finished, because, you know, I mean, like I said, I plan on it being a portable base at the moment, but I'm not really planning on flying around with it. So let's switch gears for a minute here and plan out some other stuff. Actually, give me just a second. I'm going to do some more planning on my own and then come back and let you guys know what I come up with. Alrighty, so I've been doing some more designing slash planning slash building. And it doesn't look like it from over here because I went the other way. I think what I'm going to end up doing is having let's see, I have a little note sketched up here, and I think it's going to go where this is the thruster room. I think I'm going to put a small corridor back here that leads off to 2 hangars on the left and right, and then back to a warp drive room. The reason I'm going to do that is because I actually didn't really think of how this would affect the overall design, the internal thrusters. And a lot of capital ships have, you know, the left and right pods where, like, equivalent to, like, on the Enterprise warp nacelles. But even in, like, Space Engineers, their default ships and stuff, you have little pods on the left and right that usually house your thrusters. And the original design I had thought of kind of took that into account, and I forgot how I was actually going to do it, and I came up with this idea earlier today and just started building it, not realizing I kind of had an idea already planned. So basically I repurposed the side pods that are going to be out to the side, that rather than have them be like the, whatchamacallit, the thruster pods, I'm actually going to make those 2 hangars, like one for, I don't know, a fighter or a scout ship, and one for like a driller or something like that. I don't know. Or 2 drillers in case one gets damaged, no idea. But in the meantime, I went ahead and started building the engine room. So we have the main RCS. I don't know how RCS stuff works. I don't know if I'm going to need more than this or not to fly the ship. I haven't ever flown a capital ship in Empyrion before. The core is right under here. And we have 2 Tier 1 generators because I didn't have the resources to build Tier 2s, but I do have the blueprints for them. So I've got this kind of set up, and then going in here we have the bridge. Now, I kind of did some placeholders here. These are going to be LCD screens. For what, I don't know, might just be for stuff. And then these 2 are going to be decorative console type things and stuff to make it look more like a bridge. At this point, I've got 2 elevators here on the side. Oh, that's not cool. The doors don't open. Ooh, I'm not sure I like that. I was trying to be a bit more fancy and build within the without having to, like, build out another wall. But I'm not really sure this is working all that well. Mainly because of this. I was kind of okay with this up until that point. I mean, I suppose I could build a different door that opened vertically. Kind of like these do. Oh, wait, no, that's the same thing. This one. Might be able to do one like that. Maybe. The other thing is, do I have... We have the walls, but do I have, like, a corner? Because this is going to be a problem for me, too. It's not really working for me. I don't see... There's a half wall, but I don't see just, like, a pillar to fill in the gap there. Alright, so this may need to be reworked a bit here. I mean, the worst case scenario is I make full blocks here and extend this out by 1. I mean, clearly if this isn't going to be bulging out, clearly I've got a lot of excess space I can work with here. Tell you what, we're going to do the infamous thing that I used to do all the time, and that's the one left and right side tactic, where I'm going to build one side one way and one side another way and see which one you guys like better. Okay, so we have regular blocks. Let's just put some regular blocks down. And now we'll grab the door. And it doesn't really matter all that much. Actually, it might, now that I think about it. That might have been... Oops, wrong button. Nope, okay, it does work. I think I had this kind. Alright, Alright, so that's cool. That works. Now, on this side, if this is the walkway, then we're going to need to extend this out by one for the elevator. And the elevator is going to go up to the captain's cabin. Originally I was going to put the bridge up on top, like, you know, most every other ship design everybody has ever seen. Ever. But I remembered a while back, I don't even remember how long ago it was, but a while ago, somebody had commented on doing a like a glass top captain's quarters so that you could see what was going on. And I really liked that idea, especially if, for any of you that have played Mass Effect Andromeda, I especially like that off of the view that in the Andromeda ship, the, can't think of the name. That's bad. I've been playing that a lot, too. Anyways, it's not the Normandy, but it's the Tempest. The view that the Tempest gives would be like you walk into your captain's cabin, and then from like here to here is all just circular glass. And you can look around and see the system out and around you, which is a really cool effect. And so I thought it would be kind of cool to follow the suggestion and have kind of like a... I'll probably do... let me place the rest of these elevators here. I'm going to need... That's going to be the ceiling, so I'm going to need one more. Maybe even two. If I want a different kind of flooring. Yeah, let's do two. And I know that looks really tall, but I've been testing a bit of a building design idea with both Empyrion and Space Engineers. It started with Space Engineers in building ships for the Dog Squad series, but I started building them from the inside out. As you can see, it's like build how you want this type of stuff to look, and then build the outside to go around it, because then everything's kind of like set up and functioning properly. But this way, I can do a ceiling down here for like the bridge. That kind of freaked out and placed all over, but that's okay, I guess. You know, this doesn't do seams like Space Engineers does, so I wonder if I even need that. I don't really need that there. Okay, we'll leave that there for now. But then this way, if this were the captain's cabin type area... Well, okay, hold on. I wanted it to be glass all the way around, so this wouldn't actually be the floor because you need to go up and then up. Alright, so I may not need to do all of this. I may be able to make it a little shorter. Let's test my theory. And I know I really probably shouldn't be working on the captain's cabin part just yet. I probably... So this can be the outer hull then, I think. And you'll walk this way. This will be the ceiling. And then I could put another two right here. And I forget, how do these... So you can be flush. Alright, I would need two to okay, now I see what I was doing. Never mind. I was kind of trying to circumvent something, but it has to be that way anyway because I've got to connect this up. Okay, so then essentially this would be like the floor to the cabin, and I was also told, I didn't realize this, but I can actually texture the... I had mentioned doing wood floors. I thought that would be a cool design idea. So you can actually do that. Ooh, that's kind of a cool one. And this could be the floor, and then that could be the edge of the outer hull. So I could do something like that to be the diameter of the cabin. That could work. And then... I'm getting a little sidetracked here. I wanted to kind of do the more important stuff first, but I'm I'm kind of getting distracted. I could do... I don't know. Actually, I think I want it to be a little more steep. Like that. And then that's the right side, right? Yeah, that's the darker. And so I could kind of... Man, I am so floaty. You slide all over the place. I'm still working out the... Oh, wait. I could do just the page up trick, can't I? That's very convenient. Like that. And then right above here, we could have... Ooh, a vertical 2x2. That won't really work. If I had a 3x3, that could work. But alas, I don't. So I could do like that. And that would kind of be the overall shape of the captain's cabin kind of thing. And I thought that was kind of a cool idea of being able to look around and see stuff. Okay, so that's the general ballpark for the cabin part, which is fine. I kind of wanted it a little bit more angled, but the more I angle it... Well, I guess that doesn't actually have to be the edge of the hull. Oh, I'm a dummy! I just saw this! I am so silly! You can do one-sided textures, you dum-dum! I totally forgot about that. This could totally be the top of the cabin because I don't have to do, like, the Space Engineers thing. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, so I might have gotten a little overexcited about that, before I actually thought it through, because I still needed a passageway to go up into the center so that I didn't have one side being, an elevator, or two sides being an elevator, though, I guess I could. It wouldn't really hurt anything. Especially if I brought it out, like I just did. Can I place a block? I mean, I wouldn't have to, but that could work, actually. Hold on. Alright, let me redo this one more time. Nope, never mind again. Got a little excited again. So the problem with what I was thinking, I had it all torn apart and was like, okay, this is cool. I can just have an elevator come up here and an elevator come up here, but I forgot about this. And I'm probably going to do another layer here, which then puts it into this height layer, which is a problem for the all circular around top of the ship captain's cabin view. So I think we're going to stick with this. In all reality, I think that's just the best way to do it. I may do something like this is gonna be the, I don't know, like if I put a door here or something and this ends up being blocked off up to this point, like this height, I may do something, because quite frankly it's just a little bit of my RP side, but I keep thinking if this is just an all-around big glass room, you know, would you really want, like, your bathroom and stuff over there? Or is it better to have it, like, under this section where, like, this is the walkway, but then if you went this way or this way or something like that, it leads to the captain's bathroom or something like that. I don't know. Just a thought that I had. So, moving forward, what I'd like to do, let me check my little note thing here, is I think this area... I'm going to go ahead and put an extra block or two here because, well, freak out. Basically because I'm not thinking I'm going to stick with this wall setup because of how it works. It'll probably end up being full blocks. In fact, since this is the half and half model, let's go ahead and put these here. Now you can always do like a rounded corner or something like that if you wanted to. At the moment I'm just doing basic squares. It's not really going to be super decorative. But from this point, I think is going to be the construction area kind of thing. So let's see. I've been trying to keep the rooms about 5 blocks of floor space, give or take. At least length. The bridge is a little more narrow, but I may open the construction area up a little bit. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then let it freak out. 6 will be the door, which I can probably add... Excuse me, if I can find the door. Here's the doors. Okay. So let's go ahead and put a door here. No idea what kind. So let's just go with these for now, because I like the glass look. Now, the only thing is, I don't know how big the constructor is. That may be a problem that I hadn't really anticipated, actually. But I think it's going to go construction and then maybe the garden area for the grow beds and everything. Or grow plots. What do they call them again? Growing plots. There we go. Alright, so constructor. Where are you? Should be in here somewhere. Seriously, where'd it go? There it is. So an advanced constructor is 2 by 2 by 2. And of course I made my rooms odd numbers, so that's gonna go well. So 2 by 2 by 2. That's actually probably gonna be a problem for me. Let's see. I will say that storming that mine and stealing all the blocks was a grand idea. Okay, so 2 by 2. If this is our walkway... Wait, why does that seem longer over there? Oh, because I didn't extend this side yet. Okay, that's what it is. So it'll actually be... If this is the walkway... If we keep that, it would actually be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 floor space, which is a lot of room. But I plan on putting some storage units and stuff, so this is going to be like storage and construction components and all that stuff. And then let's go ahead and bring this out. What would this be? We'll work on this side for now, keeping with the whole left side theory. So 1, 2, can't get a good view. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Whoa! Come down, please don't squish me. Did that actually damage anything? I know everybody told me that that's so that it doesn't get built into the ground, but that was a lot. I probably shouldn't add that much that quick. Oh, and I forgot, I'm gonna need panel wall there to cover the door. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's add another row. That's better. 5, and then 6 will be the next door, if there is one. I honestly really haven't planned on what else would go further into the nose of the ship, because that is, as the ship starts to narrow, is where, like, at this point it's starting to kind of narrow up to kind of a Star Destroyer type shape, but not really. I did a Star Destroyer build in Space Engineers, and I'm not really trying to do the same exact thing. It was actually an idea I got based off of one of the Gundam ships I saw in Gundam Seed, and I kind of tweaked it a little bit and kind of redesigned it, so I'm hoping this will come out looking kind of cool. But this area would be like the growing plots, farm, garden area, and then it would go into the nose, which I might just make bulk armor. I don't know. Or empty space, if we want to kind of continue with it. So that's kind of the idea, going that way. And then our last little bit over here, I'm going to give us a 3-block hallway. Yeah, it freaks me out. It scares me to death every time it does it. So we have a doorway, 1, 2, 3, so 4. And then we'll put a door here. I want to make it this one, I think, because this is going to end up being the warp drive room. 1, 2, 3. I don't know how big this is. 5 by 2 by 5, so it's a 5 by 5. So let's do. Let's say this is the walkway and the wall. Well, that's the wall entrance. I keep forgetting about that. I need to have a wall space area. So then 1, 2. Let it readjust. 3, 4. And let's do 5, 6, and 7. The reason I want to do that, let me double check my math here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're almost back to the base. The reason I want to do it that way is because it'll give me a block all the way around that I can work with as a walkway for maintenance or glass or whatever. And then I can still put the warp drive in the center. So that's relatively about the length size of the capital ship I'm planning. Barring the side hangar pod things off to the left and right. But as far as the main core of the ship, the nose will be a little bit longer, but I honestly don't know what I'm going to put in the nose yet. So we basically have warp, thrusters, engine and reaction control, bridge, captain's quarters up here, construction and storage, and then growing garden over there. And then stuff along, like in these middle sections and things like that, where there's empty space, but it's obviously going to be wider, is where I'll probably put some loose stuff, ammo crates, weapons, stuff like that. But I think that's going to do it for us for this episode. In the meantime, I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I'll see you all next time. Peace!